Hello, people. This is Ron with Kind of Nerdy, and back for another issue of the Uncanny X-Men, issue 192. And we get to see Nightcrawler, Rogue, and Colossus being assimilated, for lack of a better word, by Magus, who is Warlock's father. I know it's a spoiler alert, but hey, that's what we're here to do: is read comics and get spoiled. So yeah, you haven't read it by now, I suggest you pick it up. It's from 1985, and we'll go right into the comics. So the young man's name is Pyotr Nikolaevich Rasputin, but for obvious reasons, he is perhaps better known as Colossus. Fun and Games, starring the Uncanny X-Men. So this came out. This is April '85. So this probably came out in January or February of '85. Well, it still says '84, so maybe um, still maybe December. So uh, Russia by birth, he is a mutant able to transform his flesh and blood body into the one of super strong, virtually invulnerable organic steel. His powers make him a mainstay of an outcast, possibly outlaw band of mutant superheroes, the Uncanny X-Men. At the at the moment, he's looking for a teammate, Nightcrawler, as part of the impromptu game of hide and seek. Yoo-hoo, Peter! If you plan to win, my friend, you'll have to do better than that. More importantly, you really must remember never to stand on the edge of a cliffs. Perfect. I caught him as he turned when he was completely off balance. Otherwise, considering his mass, I wouldn't have been able to budge him. Happy landings, my friend. And he teleports, bomb. With those words and a characteristic burst of fire and brimstone. The X-Men's current leader, teleports himself to safety, leaving Colossus to plunge into the river below. Good thing Professor Xavier isn't here to see our performance. He'd probably replace us with the novice pupils, the new mutants. Short-handed as we are, we'll have to do better than this. Speak for yourself, Fuzzy. Rogue! Ah, I think I'm doing just fine. Easy to catch a charming devil like me, my darling. Far harder to keep hold. And he teleports behind her and puts his arms over her eyes. Fink, you ported. So shake me off if you can. Of course, the big problem is with your eyes covered like this, it's awfully hard to see where you're going. Bump! And she crashes into the water. Creep! And Nightcrawler says, "Ha ho 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 hi!" Isn't this so much more calmer than working out in our plain old danger room? I don't know about you, but I'm having the time of my life. Ugh, my brand new outfit soaked, but it's in round two. It'll be the elf's turn, Colossus, right? Colossus, duh. Pete, honey, we ain't got a prayer. Lesson you put your mind on business. I know, Rogue. I am sorry. Katya, Kitty Pride, is due home from Japan tonight with Wolverine. You couldn't. You could have gone with the prof and stormed to meet her. How? It is because of me that she left. I have hurt her enough. Better for now to stay away. I did not ask to fall in love with the alien healer Zaji. I don't know how you're supposed to pronounce that. It happened. My feelings for Kitty changed. At least that is what I believe. Lately, I do not know, and the more I wonder, the more confused I become. Poor guy. This is in Secret Wars that he's referring to. I think I might go start a doing Secret Wars. Poor guy. I wish I could help Pete, but I'm afraid it's out of my league. And the Carol Danvers side of my psyche knows about that kind of stuff. Maybe it can offer some advice. Speaking of Carol, Rogue, among her powers, was a precognitive seventh sense. Since you absorbed her abilities along with her memories, you should logically possess that talent as well. I doubt it, Kurt. In all these months I've seen no sign of it. Let's change the subject, okay? This is exactly the happiest chapter of my career. I ain't proud of what I did. Being reminded of it hurts. Still, such an ability would be useful in a fight. Didn't do Carol much good, Elf. Didn't warn her about me. You should you shouldn't brood, Rogue. That is that is long past. Not me. Come on. No more sad face. Cheer up, smile. Hey, no fair. Cut it out. You're tickling, and you are ticklish. I'll bash you, Buster. Stop. I mean it. Talk is cheap. I kind of wonder if her skin is impregnable. How is she ticklish? I don't understand it. How is he able to like poke her in the ribs or what have you and tickle her? Uh, Nightcrawler, don't no. But he doesn't listen. Bump. Nor does he notice as her protests become more vehement until cut it out. Woof. Nightcrawler's intention was to goad Rogue to the point where her seventh sense, assuming it exists, engaged, and that it seems he was quite successful. Nightcrawler, oh no, what have I done? He's flying into the hillside. You bozo, serve you right if I let you splatter. I know you meant well, but no way do I like it. Don't toy with me, mister, ever again. Is he all right? Is he all right? He'll survive. Ah, fairest of maidens, your paladin owes you his life. Could that would that I he could thank you with a kiss? The look on her face. so, in the 80s, apparently it was not uncommon for adults to tickle each other. These days, you'd be slapped with a sexual harassment suit. You louse, rogue! Not another word, or so help me, I'll rip you a limb from misbegotten limb. I'm wet. I hate wet. A hand, Tovarish. I've never heard her so upset. She sounded like she was crying. What did I do, Peter? What did I say? Oh, dunce! How could I have? How could I? Especially I have been so stupid, so unfeeling. Remember that what Storm told us Rogue's powers manifested itself when she was barely in her teens? She's never been kissed, probably never even been touched. All the things that we take for granted, all the sensations and pleasures we share with others, are totally alien to her. Possessing Carol's memories must be absolute torture, constantly reminding Rogue of things that she can never experience firsthand. So Carol Danvers is actually a friend of Charles Xavier's and Wolverine's. She after Rogue took her powers, she was uh, the X Men took her in, and she was captured by the Brood, and she was transformed into binary. And so she still had her memories. Charles Xavier helped her recover them, but the thing is, she didn't have any emotions attached to them because Rogue had all of that, took all of that from her. So basically, it was like having read a book or seen a movie, but and seen it through somebody else's eyes. She had the memories, but they weren't real to her because she had no emotion to them. So, anyways, a little bit of backstory. No wonder she was so angry. Was what what was to me a harmless little jest must have seemed to her like an exercise in deliberate cruelty, and nothing I can say or do will make amends. She flew there, Kurt, towards the ruined mansion. Should we follow? We'd best wait a while, my friend. I don't think I'd be too welcome, eh? So this is supposed to be upstate New York. Are there a lot of abandoned mansions upstate New York in with mountains in the background? Just wondering. Mein Gott, the sky! It glows as bright as day. Something falling this way. Down, Peter. You know what? It should be that there should be like a glare coming off of Colossus because he's in his metal form. Something's falling this way. Down, Peter. Look, Rocket Raccoon. The light is blinding, impossible to look at. The shockwave of the objects passing, hammering the two X-Men to the brink of unconsciousness. There is a final awesome flash, and then all at once more dark and still. To all appearances, it is as if nothing unusual happened. Meanwhile, 150 miles down the Hudson River at New York City's Kennedy International Airport, be at home, bed, sleep, missed, love, hate you. Creep got my jaw, probably a lousy mutie. They're everywhere, taking over, ain't safe. White-haired cutie, hot stuff, rock star, somebody famous. Is that the a reference to me, Professor? I fear so, Aurora. What are you writing? A transcript of random background thoughts around us. Notes for a course in teaching at Columbia University. So many comments about mutants, and they are so cruel. I had not realized people's fear of us was this intense. Nor I. The recent controversy about Dazzler and her film have evidently catalyzed a considerable dormant ill will. The mutant menace has suddenly become a prime target for television and tabloid exposés, and a view most often presented is so hostile. I fear they'll do lasting, possibly irreparable harm. More mutants are born every day, Aurora. What hope have they or humanity in a world where they're condemned outright as evil? Looks at his watch. No sign of Kitty or Logan. I wonder how much longer we'll have to wait. Their flight was delayed by bad weather, Professor. I could have helped if I could. I would have helped if I could. Like how they always do that thing that if I still had my powers, I'd be able to help. Ororo's remark was made in jest, but that's merely a facade. However, while she masks her true feelings, the loss of her elemental powers still hurts, and making matters worse, her love for the man responsible, Forge, remains as strong and vital as her rage at him. If only there was something I could do. I am reputedly the most powerful telepath on the planet, yet in this instance I find myself utterly helpless. Ororo's fate, her future happiness, lie where I think she wants them, in her own hands. What's Ileana doing over there? Cut it out. Cut it out, Buster. Quit wiggling. I don't know why Ileana Rasputin wears trucker hats. The prof doesn't know I brought you along. Let's keep it that way. Lockheed, the dragon, he's got his arms crossed like steam, smoke coming out of his mouth. I mean it, Lockheed. Behave yourself, or I'll take you home this instant. Harumph. Give me a break. I'm bored. I'm bored. So it's not my fault the plane's late. Cool it with the smoke, dragon, or we'll really get into trouble. Brothers can be a real pain. Peter should be here. I know it's a scary moment. It may be awkward, even painful, but it's got to be faced. Running away won't make things any easier. If he keeps acting like such a bozo, he and Kitty won't even be friends. So I said, bored, hungry. Your mama's a mutie. Take that back, liar. Everywhere I hate 'em. It ain't safe. The professor says I shouldn't eavesdrop, but it's in my second nature. In my time, that was how I survived. The more thoughts I hear, the more upset I get. The more upset, the less able to maintain my side screens. I keep telling myself these are decent, ordinary people. They have nothing against me personally. They don't mean me any harm, except in my future, the America I remember, decent, ordinary people let mutants be herded into concentration camps. Decent, ordinary people slaughtered everyone I ever knew and I loved. The X Men, mom, dad, Kate. She was the last. She's still Kitty here, a girl barely 15, but in the future, when I knew her, she was twice my age. Part surrogate mother, mostly best friend. So I was thinking about how she says, like, the professor doesn't want her eavesdropping, yet he's doing the same thing. He's listening in on people's thoughts and making notes, but he tells her not to do it. Kind of hypocritical there, huh? Uh, Outside of my folks, I miss her the most. Gasp! My reflection. Where's Professor Xavier? What's happened to the airport? I'm dressed as a hound. No, no, I'm back in my own time. Rachel? Snap out of it, girl. Pull yourself together. I'm sorry, Kate. It's this outfit. I understand, dear heart. They drugged and brainwashed you and forced you to use your psi talent to hunt down mutants so that they could kill them. Nothing I say can erase that horror. But here but what we do here today may prevent any more of our kind from sharing that fate. Is this real? This is it's some nothing I remember of my time. Was my time shift into the past only a fantasy? Then my way of escaping a life too terrible to bear? No, it can't be. I won't let it. Oh, please, please, let it be a memory. I want to go home, Kate. Pop it. There's no one left to do the job but us. My heart's hammering, fit to burst, as Kate uses a cover identity provided by an old friend to get us through the gate. Identification: Colonel Carol Danvers, Air Force, Intelligence. Isn't it funny how Carol Danvers is a big part of this story? And just 2 or 3 years ago, it was 3 years ago, 2 years ago that Captain Marvel was released at the theaters, and so, but this is from 1984, 85, and Carol Danvers was actually a background character by then because she was no longer Ms. Marvel, but she was binary. But she appeared in a few X Men comics, but she's a member of the Starjammers, space pirates that were led by Corsair, who's Cyclops' father. Okay. Made it the nerve center of the Project Nimrod. Once the door seals, Rachel telekinetically scramble the locks. They'll have to blast their way inside. Then what? The lab's shielded against your phasing power. We're trapped. I am, anyways. I knew that from the start. Rachel, my love, this is where we part company. Once I know you're safe, I'll be free to deal with Nimrod. What are you talking about? I won't leave you. Who said you had a choice? Dark Phoenix. Months ago, I used my psi powers to temporarily exchange Kate's psyche with that of her younger self, Kitty. She and I figured that a physical body might be able to travel through time as well, but I never dreamed I would ever actually try. Now, with the words Dark Phoenix, I am suddenly swept away by forces beyond my comprehension. My very being shattered and cast across infinity as I tap into the power as primal as creation, and so vast it beggars the description, yet at the same time strangely familiar, to find myself thrown into the world that is into a past much like my own, but cruelly different because it's one where I don't seem to exist. So, one of the things that one of the time travel things in the Marvel universe is that sometimes you go to a parallel universe. See, Rachel Summers is the daughter of Cyclops and Jean Grey, but in this world, Earth 616, Jean Grey died, sacrificed herself as a phoenix. At least that's what the world thought, and everybody thinks she's dead at this time. And so, and so Rachel was never born, and so she's in a basically in a alternate timeline in the past. So and apparently Carol Danvers in this alternate reality, the other alternate reality, was was obviously still a friend of the X Men, but apparently Rogue didn't take her powers when she was well known. She was able to help them infiltrate Project Nimrod using her identity. You, I know that voice for a moment. You okay? I know that voice, and for a moment, I wonder if I'm still in my dream state. You look pretty rocky. I thought you were going to faint. My my eyes, though, tell me the truth. I'm all right, thank you. I'll be fine. She thinks, Kitty. Uh, I like Rachel has that rat's tail. That was a hairstyle I wore in the '80s. I didn't get to get mine very long though. I got my wish. It was a memory. I should have let it well enough alone. Kate must have secretly programmed me with a post hypnotic command. If all else failed, I guess she wanted me to as her ace in the hole to save everything in the future by altering the past. Thanks a lot, lady. She must have scrambled my memories a little too, so I believe that the time slip was my own idea. I'll till I was ready to handle the truth. She wouldn't have done it unless she knew she had no hope of surviving. I guess that makes me her, and maybe the future's only hope. I feel so afraid, so alone. Oh, Kate, why didn't you let me stay? Welcome, Logan. We missed you. Wolverine wearing his cowboy's hat. So there's a dragon flying in the airport, and nobody's saying anything. Did you see that flash up north? It lit up the whole sky. Hey, wait a minute. You, I know you. Impossible. You can't. You were unconscious the whole time. I remember it was you in the future. You protected me. You're Rachel. Meanwhile, what a mess. Watch your step, Peter. From the angle of the trees, we're nearing the point of impact. Colossus, stay calm. I'm whoops. This ground is fused, smooth as glass, almost as frictionless. A frictionless surface. I can hardly get a grip. If I'm not careful, I'll smash myself silly against his armored hide. Gangway, mind the front. Phew, that was fun. Anybody, anybody for seconds? Kurt, would not such a so big an explosion make a larger crater? Good point. By rights, we and everything else for miles should have been incinerated. No sign of the object either. Perhaps it got up and walked away. My thoughts exactly. Kurt, what is this glittering in the moonlight? Fantastique. Unglaublich. Peter, come back. Come, take a look. A tree composed entirely of circuitry elements. They're all like this. Here's a stag, Kurt, just the same, frozen in mid leap. It's facing away from the pit as if trying to flee. I have seen this effect before. There's an oak in the yard of our house, and one of my sister Liana's limbo creatures as well, both transformed by the alien New Mutant Warlock the night he arrived. New Mutants number 21. Is it, it is how his kind consumes food. First, he turns living creatures into techno-organic beings like himself, then drains their life energy, making them statues like these. Remember what he told the professor that he was fleeing from his father, a more powerful version of himself who had sworn to slay him? Oh, Rogue laying in the wreckage of the house. Dear diary, I think I just discovered the limits of my invulnerability. I better find a guy as Colossus should be fine, but any force strong enough to bop me silly may have done Nightcrawler real harm, and golly gee, wouldn't that be nice? Worry not, youngling, about your companions. Was that Warlock? You know my offspring? It's the I like their natural form. They kind of look like surreal art paintings. Splendid. Upon your transmutation, you will lead me to him. Can't let him touch me. I gotta get out of here. Ah, I'm caught. But nothing's happening. Does his power work the same as mine? Does he need to touch the victim's flesh to affect him? Sure looks that way. Like it. That's a big break for me. And here's one for him. Snap! And she breaks his arm. Ah, that's gotta. Even if you're techno organic, that's gotta hurt. Yeah. Scratch. A chimney, where'd that come from? Probably the roof. Oh, Nighty, you gotta do something about that brimstone stench every time you port. Libshin. It's my trademark. What would people say? Thank you? Careful, fellas. That's Warlock's daddy. We know. Pow! Colossus. Is he punching him? Yeah, he punches him. Leave him to me. And he starts beating the crap out of him. Boom! That seems to have taken the fight out of him. Though, from the way Warlock spoke, I expected a more formidable foe. Formidable foe. Boys, you should have heeded my son. Instead, you may proceed to welcome him unto the lathe of the Maker. Lathe of the Maker. Cannot break free. His grip tightening cannot stand much more. But if I lose consciousness, I'll revert to my human form and be at Magus's mercy. What can I do? There's no way I can match Magus's strength. Wait, a portion of him is still stuck in the rubble. I've I've never tried teleporting a part of an object. I have no idea of what it'll do to him or me, but I'm about to learn. As awful as Magus felt when Rogue tore apart his arm, this is infinitely worse. Nightcrawler's ploy has a desired effect. Magus's captives is released. It teleports part of. Oh man, that's gotta hurt, and it's gonna leave a mark. Gotcha, big boy. Nighty, I'm alive, Rogue. Beyond that, all bets are off. My only consolation is that Magus is hopefully in the same shape. Then I might be able to take him. If not one way, then there the others for sure. Wait, Rogue, no, wait. He's alien. If you touch him, if you use your powers, the process might not be reversible. My risk, elf. Ha! Missed me, slowpoke. Well, maybe not. Nighty was right about the seventh sense. I kind of knew where and when and where and when Magus how Magus was going to make his move. It's not a conscious thing. So it's more like instinct. I react automatically as fast as lightning. As lightning. Whatever you are, you blessed little talent, don't fail me now. Magus glowed a lot more brightly the first time we tussled. He's been burning a lot of energy fighting us, and his injuries probably cost him too. You called it perfectly, Elf. Magus is hurting bad, and he's vulnerable. Poor boy, you don't look well at all. How's about I give you the kiss of life? Rogue's mutant talent is to absorb temporarily the mind and abilities of whoever she touches, thereby rendering that person comatose. In essence, she becomes them, and they, except in the most basic physical sense, cease to exist. Magus, unfortunately, is too powerful, and in his case, although the transferal is partially successful, it is Rogue whose existence is in considerable doubt. Rogue, that silly, stupid girl, what has she done? Thoughts. Oh, perception's wildly different, fantastic. So she's been transformed into a techno organic, but not infected with the virus because she basically absorbed his powers like she would normally. Are you alright, Rogue? You become like Warlock. System analysis indicates condition transitory. You sound like a machine. Nightcrawler. The thing self is experiencing, that self learned from Magus. It's beyond belief. Well, perhaps that'll better enable us to combat him, but it in no way justifies what you did. I lead the X-Men. That means you do as I say. My friends, we have a problem. Eh? Oh, fools! There, you are nothing as nothing to me. I could tear your puny star in half with my bare hands. But you fought well. Your courage amuses me. Your existence may therefore continue. Be warned, however, even my patience has limits. Deliver Warlock to me quickly, or your world will suffer the consequences. But it's not one thing, it's another. Later, after Nightcrawler summons reinforcements, if Magus is as truly awesome as he boasts, why threaten? Why not simply destroy us? You think he's running a bluff, Ororo? You are the leader, team leader, Kurt. You tell me. Leader, what a joke. I don't even have a sense enough to to keep leave someone to keep watch on Magus while we called you. Who, pal? You were all pretty bashed up. Odds are we'd we'd have returned to find another circuitry statue a needless sacrifice. You made the right decision. You held your own against him and came through alive, Elf. No mean feat. I was lucky. This job should be yours, my friend. No way, being boss ain't my style. X-Men alert, an intruder. Freeze! Nobody move or I'll shoot. Who are you? What are you doing here? We mean no harm, officer. I'm mentally calming him, X-Men, and have altered our perceptions so that he sees our costumes as ordinary clothes. Further, upon our departure, he will forget our presence completely. Thought you swore off mucking with heads, Charlie. This is a private property, folks. No trespassing. You gotta go. We quite understand. Professor, what of Magus? Neither of my psi powers nor Wolverine's enhanced senses nor our electronic scanners can detect a trace of him. Or he is either out of range or has some means of cloaking himself, continuing our searches and exercise in futility. We've no choice but to let him go, make the next move. Upon our return to the mansion, Rogue, I want you to tell us everything you recall from the contact with Magus. Like Ororo, I wonder why he is being so circumspect. It may prove to be something we can turn to our advantage. Heck of a night. Sky lights up, we get you have calls up the wazoo, and to cap it all, the robes and place burns. Why'd I come up here anyway? I must have had a good reason, but I'm blamed if I can think of it. Must have be going senile. So you would think he would call in on the radio and say, "This is Unit Alpha, where I'm code 6 at blah blah blah." But but that wouldn't fit into the story. uh, I could have sworn I left the cruiser at the foot of the drive. I didn't want the sound of the engine to spook anyone in the house. Only house was empty. Crazy, crazy. Hey, what's happening? Stay away! So it's not really his cruiser. It's Magus. Truly, this orb is exceptional. Never have my sensors encountered such a confluence of major celestial forces and entities. The inhabitants of this world are no less formidable. In their recent past, they have defeated Galactus. You would think that would be a deterrent to alien invaders. Any planet that can deter Galactus would be a way to stay away from, be a good reason to stay away from the planet. See, Magus turned the officer a into techno organic and then absorbed his energy. And tonight the X Men came very close to doing the same to me. I must therefore be circumspect in my approach to Warlock. To disguise myself, I will assume a human form. He has allied himself with these mutants. Their strength and courage and intelligence have proven most impressive. I will not underestimate them again. You have chosen your company well, my son, and in the process afforded me a most glorious hunt, a true test and skill of character of my right to rule. I am proud of you. But your efforts, although admirable, will be for naught. You will not escape again. In the end, I shall triumph, and you die. Columbia University, New York City, some months later. Merry Christmas, Professor. Loved your seminar, sir. You're a great teacher. I appreciate the thought, Mary. But yeah, your grade stays the same next term. Study. Yes, sir. Richard, thank you for your card. Enjoy the holidays. I should have done this ages ago. I'd become too much of the hermit in Westchester. I had no idea how much I needed a change of pace. I enjoyed teaching the X-Men and New Mutants, but their lives are so hectic. The demands on me is so different. I don't gain quite the same feeling of satisfaction and accomplishment I've been getting these past months. Nor do I have to face the awful responsibility of sending these students off to risk or sacrifice their lives for a world for a world that seems to hate them more and more. Muti die, Muti lover. I beg your pardon. 5 minds close at hand, but more lurk in the shadows. Some are drunk, all hostile, with a dangerous, violent undertone to their thoughts. I recognize two of them, students from my seminar. You heard me. Let me pass, please. I want no trouble, though we don't want your kind in our school. They mean to attack. I have no choice but to use my powers. A silence should paralyze their limbs, hold them long enough for me to reach my car. They're young. I pray they don't know what they're doing. I don't want to hurt them. I wish the parking lot were closer. There were so many. Their thoughts so chaotic, hard to keep track. Did I spot them all? I have to. I have I frozen. Ow! I couldn't move. But what did he do to us? He must be one of them. Prof, some mutie. Waste him. Hate crime. Nothing like the free thinking college campus. The nerve of the scum belly passing himself off as a real human being. Hey man, he won't be trying that again. He got what he deserved. Let's split, guys, before anyone sees us. I don't know about you, but this has given me the thirst. How's about we grab some brews? So you just beat a man to death supposedly, and you just walk away to go get some beer. Grabs him. He's laying there bleeding, and someone grabs him and pulls him into the alley. This paper's Professor Xavier, peace on earth, goodwill to men. So all these people signed his card, Christmas card, and and it's covered in blood. So even his students supposedly care about him, but yet some of the people that beat him up were his students. Next, the 100th issue of the new X-Men War Hunt 2. All right, well, that ends that. Was kind of interesting. It was a different take. It was different than the other one. We had alien invasion by Magus, Warlock's dad or father, and only 3 X-Men were able to defeat him. And he's assumed human form to infiltrate Earth. So I hope you all like this one. I may continue with issue 193, which is War Hunt, which introduces Firestar and Warpath, who are um, let me see what we got here. Okay, let's go down. Whoops, went too far. Let's see, is it in there? Nope. X-Men and Alpha Flight, that might do that. Bad Karma. So why did it jump to 199 from 190? All right. I think I'm on a different. There's more than one. Unnamed. Okay. So 192. All right. So yeah, there's the Firestar miniseries. Hey, maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do Firestar and bring it into Uncanny X-Men 193, and then Fires, and then the rest of it. Might do it that way. Or and then Legion, which is all New Mutants, introduces Xavier's son. I might go back and do New Mutants and do the uh, where the Demon Bear saga, which is what the X-Men, the New Mutants movie was based on. This I'll just give you a little bit of a spoiler for next issue. We have Rogue fighting Firestar, Wolverine fighting Warpath, and the kid manipulating him as empath. There's Kitty Pryde looking like a serial, a heroine from a serial from the 1940s, and a girl holding a coin. So I want to end it up, wind it up here. I'm not going to go into this issue. It's a double-sized issue. But I hope you all enjoyed this. Please like and share, comment on the videos. I really need your support. If you like my stuff, I would really appreciate your sharing it. I want to say thank you for being here and have a good night. This is Ron Bose signing out. Bye.